Morgan losing the consultant job in high potential wouldn't just be a professional setback. It would be the most honest way the show could force her to confront a truth she's been actively avoiding. She actually loves the work. Not because of validation, ego, or even intellectual challenge alone, but because the job gives her purpose, structure, and a place where her mind isn't something she has to shrink or apologize for. Taking it away would strip Morgan of the safety net she uses to tell herself this role is temporary, transactional, or purely circumstantial. Up until now, Morgan has treated the consultant position like something she fell into rather than something she chose. That distinction matters. By framing the job as accidental, she preserves emotional distance from it. If she never fully claims it, she never has to grieve it, fight for it, or admit how much it's become part of her identity. Losing the role against her will collapse that illusion. When something is taken from you, your reaction exposes how deeply it mattered, no matter how casually you pretended to hold it. What makes this especially powerful is that Morgan's resistance to ownership mirrors her emotional patterns elsewhere. She excels in the role, contributes meaningfully, and clearly thrives in the environment, yet she keeps one foot out the door. That posture allows her to stay in control. If she convinces herself she doesn't need the job, then it can't hurt her. But when the job is gone, that defense mechanism stops working. Absence forces clarity. If she feels restless, unmoored, or quietly angry afterward, those emotions won't be about pride. They'll be about loss. The consultant job gives Morgan something rare in her life, a space where her intelligence is not just tolerated, but essential. Outside of it, her brilliance often isolates her. She's misunderstood, underestimated, or treated as inconvenient. In this role, her mind becomes an asset that directly impacts outcomes. Losing that environment would remind her just how rare it is to be valued without compromise. That realization doesn't come from success. It comes from deprivation. There's also an emotional honesty that only failure or loss can provoke. As long as Morgan remains competent and indispensable, she can tell herself she's doing this because she's good at it, not because she wants it. But when competence isn't enough to keep the position, she's forced to interrogate her motivations more deeply. Why does this hurt? Why does walking away feel wrong? Why does the idea of not solving cases, not being in the room, not being needed, feel like erasure rather than relief? This is where the job loss becomes transformative rather than punitive. It reframes the work from something she stumbled into something she chose to fight for. And that distinction matters narratively. Choosing the work means choosing responsibility, commitment, and vulnerability. It means admitting that this isn't just a clever side quest in her life. It's a calling that aligns with who she is at her core. The ripple effect on her dynamic with Karadec would be unavoidable. Karadec has always seen the value of Morgan's contributions, often more clearly than she sees it herself. Watching her lose the job would put him in a position to reflect back what she's afraid to admit. Not through speeches or reassurance, but through expectation. If he assumes she'll want back in, if he treats her absence as temporary because of course she belongs there, it subtly challenges her narrative that this was never that important to her in the first place. More importantly, losing the job strips away her ability to hide behind attachment. While she's a consultant, she can keep emotional walls intact by focusing on performance. Without it, she's left with the raw truth of what gave her fulfillment. That's uncomfortable, but it's also growth. Admitting she loves the work doesn't make her weaker. It makes her honest. It acknowledges that she isn't just reacting to circumstances. She's actively choosing a life that fits her mind. From a storytelling standpoint, this kind of arc respects Morgan's intelligence. It doesn't teach her a lesson in a simplistic way. Instead, it allows her to arrive at self-awareness through consequence. The loss becomes the mirror. And when she eventually fights to reclaim the role or redefines it on her own terms, that choice carries weight precisely because it's no longer accidental. Ultimately, Morgan losing the consultant job wouldn't diminish her. It would clarify her. It would force her to stop pretending that this role is just something she's good at and start admitting what she's been quietly proving all along. She loves the work, she needs a challenge, and she belongs in that world. And once she admits that to herself, There's no going back to pretending it was ever just a coincidence.